everyone. This is Abdus Shah from Spire Podcast. Welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we have Hannah. I hope I am pronouncing the name correctly.
Yeah.
Uh, that's good. She is from Red Dog PPC or PPC Red Dog. She will be telling the correct name. And she will be talking about Prime Day as it's coming and it's already on the edge. So let's welcome Hannah to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, so Red Dog PPC. So we've named our company after our dog to make it nice and easy. Um, but we are an Amazon advertising agency based in London. So we
Hmm?
help sellers on Amazon with problems like, listing optimization, advertising, that sort of thing. So yeah, Prime Day, massive, massive thing coming up, obviously, kind of like Groundhog Day each year, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
a lot of people have been asking us about Prime Day and tips for what they should be doing and how can I optimize for Prime Day without spending an incredible amount of money. So I think that's one of the main things that we've kind of heard from
Mhm.
people in the space.
That's great. Yeah. Most of the time, sellers or you may say new sellers think that okay, it's a Prime Day and people will visit much the website, the Amazon website, and it will increase the uh, traffic automatically, and we will also get the share from the total market pie. So, do you think do we need to optimize our listing and do we have to strategize for Prime Day, or should we just wait for the traffic and just take the pie?
Well, I think there's a couple of things at play here, isn't it? Like, we talk to sellers and they basically say, well, we need to do it because everyone else is doing it, and to a certain extent, I think it's true. It's a necessary evil, but also I think that you've got to remember that Prime Day is just one day. Well, it's not just one day; it's 2 days. But it's prime period, but realistically, it should fit into your overall strategy. So you've just got to factor that into your general thinking about Amazon. Prime Day is a great day to get sales, to kind of increase new to brand followers, maybe people, reach people who haven't maybe purchased from you before. But generally, what we need to remember is yes, there will be an increase in traffic, but there's also an increase in the cost per click, and everyone's discounting. So, if you're not discounting or you're not at a price competitive point, then really your conversions on that day might not be so great and you might be paying a lot of money for that traffic. So very important that you prime yourself in the run up to, on the day, and the lead out, and sometimes really the run up period is actually much better than the day itself, especially profitability wise. It's about making sure that whatever you're doing on Prime Day works for you and is sustainable, because there's no point in getting 10 times the sales on Prime Day if you're paying 10 times as much and you're half the price. It just doesn't make any logical sense. And I think that you need to really understand, what am I trying to get out of this day. And there's lots of different things you can be getting out of it. Are we just looking for sales? Are we looking solely for profitability? Because then maybe 10 times in your sales really isn't like what's going to happen. Are we just trying to maybe sell through of an old line that we want to move and discount it like 50% just to get it off our accounts? Or there's lots of different ways you can look at Prime Day. I generally think that most people just want it to be profitable, and everyone wants to make more sales, of course, but I think that you need to be at the right price point for that as well.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It needs a lot of background work to be featured there and to win your spots and reasonable sales amount. So we are almost 10 days, or you can say 2 weeks away from the uh, Prime Day. So what do you what are the things you suggest for preparing for the Prime Day? Do we need to prepare anything upfront, or like should we work on the ranking or optimization or anything?
Absolutely. I think that, in the month before, I'd be looking at making sure that I am ranked, appropriately for the right keywords, that my listing is well optimized. I mean, these are things that you should be doing already, So if you're in a good position in your category, you're happy there, then it's there's other things that you can be doing. Generally, I'd say if you're trying to rank, go up from like rank 50 to the second organic spot or something in the run up to Prime Day, it's going to cost you a bit more money. I think that one thing that we want to focus on is how can we help our clients and sellers get themselves into the best position, but without spending an excessive amount of money. And there's a couple of ways you can do it. So a lot of sellers have a really good email list. So, driving people from your email list to Amazon in the, 1 to 2 weeks before, especially, maybe with like a pre-prime discount exclusively for them, that really helps. Any kind of ranking or conversions in the run up to Prime Day is really helpful. Amazon posts, using free kind of tools that Amazon give you, because Amazon doesn't give you much for free, but Amazon posts is something they do give you for free. So getting some posts out there with your social media content and tagging your product is really important. So you can tag up to 3 products in those posts. So I'd be doing that with the products you want to push on Prime Day. But then I'd say discounts as well. So on Amazon, everyone's there for a good deal, aren't they? So, 10% coupon in the 1 to 2 weeks before, just to make sure that your conversions are continuing to come through, because we do see a dip in conversions generally. Saw on LinkedIn, someone had posted the other day that the day Amazon announced Prime Day, their conversions started dropping. And it's true, people are waiting, especially if you're in a category like an electronics category, a higher price product, where people expect discounts and they're waiting for Prime Day to get a deal. There'll be a lot of browsing in the run up to that. So you're going to be paying for customers to come and look at your listing, but not buy, because they're just kind of browsing and waiting to see what happens. So generally in that period, if you've got a good enough deal, some people will just buy. So having a couple of discounts set up in the run up is definitely advisable. I'd say on the day, just whatever you do, don't go crazy. Don't just start increasing things because you think you need to increase them. I would actually say I'd be dropping my bids the day before Prime Day. I don't want to spend more money on clicks on Prime Day, because a lot of the work should have already been done. You should already be there organically. You should be kind of in the prime position. So, pardon the pun, but on Prime Day, you should have lower bids, just increase your budgets to allow for all that extra traffic, because there will be extra traffic. And then, you can have your Prime deals running. I think it's a minimum 20% off the top of my head. So, for any products you're looking to push, I would have had a Prime deal set up for 20%. And then in the run out as well, I'd have a 10% coupon on, because you want to continue the post Prime Day traffic. There will still be some residual traffic there. So I think that the thing we would say to people is, you already have your email lists, your social media. You've got a lot of free resources there that you can kind of tap into. And then also the before and after of Prime Day are actually some of the more profitable times to kind of get those sales in.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, exactly. And regarding the content optimization, like images, written content, for that you already mentioned that we have to make sure that right keywords are there, and then the A plus content and storefront. So, what do you think about the design part of the listings? Should we also customize it, or what do you say?
Well, I think design is like one of the most important things on Amazon in this day and age. And if you're not A/B testing and doing things like that, then you're leaving money on the table. I mean, we've got great tools like PickFu and things like that really allow you to kind of go through and optimize for the best images. We know that your main image, just tweaking your main image can increase your click-through rate and things like that quite dramatically. I would say that, yeah, you've still got some time to do that testing. I wouldn't be testing on Prime Day, for example, maybe. I would be doing that now. And that's something that we should always be doing. It's people kind of talk about Prime Day as if it's like this holy grail event, and realistically, it's just a day where you should be doing everything that you should be doing for the rest of the year anyway, but just with a bit of discounting, to be honest, and a lot more traffic. So I think that yes, the images are really important. If you are sitting there with really poorly optimized images in 2024, I don't know what planet you're on, to be honest. We use a tool called Data Dive, and it really helps kind of map out our sellers' listings in comparison to the competition. So, if you go on there, you can really clearly see, and it's really easy to demonstrate to clients, like, actually your images really need some help.
Yeah.
And, some people listen, some don't. But I think that generally, yes, listing optimization, especially the imagery. If I was, going to invest in one thing, it probably would be really good images for my listing, because everything else you can kind of do by yourself to a certain extent. But I find that where most people struggle is those images. And it's one of the biggest problems that we have with sellers, is convincing them that their images are the problem. Oh no, these images work on our Shopify store. Yeah, but that's a different platform, and Amazon, there's demand on Amazon already. Your product's not driving demand. You're there trying to capture some of that demand. And other people on Amazon are doing a really good job with images. And with the rise of AI and all of those different things, there is literally no excuse, because it's become cheaper and easier to do it. So you need to put your best foot forward in terms of images, because if you don't, you will suffer and you'll end up paying more money in advertising costs. So, you're going to spend the money somewhere. May as well be optimizing your images.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And for the brand story is especially, and for the storefront, this part are like more towards branding of your brand. So they're like, they are like more optimized for the branding and for overall picture of the brand. So what do you think about them? Should we add any specific design or any specific piece of content in them for customization toward the Prime Day?
Yes, absolutely. So I think that your store page is a brilliant resource, because it's one of the only places where competitors can't stick their ads next to your product. So
Mhm.
actually, if you've got a lot of store campaigns that are running really well, creating a Prime specific page for all of your deals and driving customers to that is incredible, because you're driving them there, they're seeing the deals, they're also not getting distracted like they might do on a product detail page by a competitor. We've seen it work really well when we've got a specific page on our store for Prime Day. And actually, if you're not doing that or not considering that, then I think that's kind of missing a trick.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. As we are talking about the listing optimization, so pricing is a major part of the listing, because it depends, and it really affects your conversion. So but on the other side, if we offer discounts and coupons, and the bids are also high on Prime Day, and we are also making the price considerate so that people don't avoid it, what should be the pricing strategy? Like, if we keep the normal price or even below lower price, then we might get a lot of sales, but it will be unprofitable because of the coupons and the higher bids and the lower price. So what do you think about that?
Is a really good point, because what we're saying about the coupons, etc., is a very general strategy, and depending on your brand, you might not actually want to do that. So I would say, what, again, it comes down to what is the point of Prime Day and how does that fit in with our strategy. If you are, say, for example, like several of our clients are, a premium priced product in that category, and discount is not part of your strategy generally, maybe Prime Day is just not a day that is really going to mean all that much to you, because, quite frankly, you're not going to get the sales on the same level because you're not discounting. But if that's not what your brand is about, and you're trying to position yourself as a premium product, It's not necessarily an issue, is it? Because all you're saying is that no, we're not going to discount on Prime Day because we deserve to be at this price point. We're holding it. And if you want us, you pay for us. That's
mm,
perfectly valid strategy. I think that you just need to consider whether, it's counting all those coupons into your margin and making sure that that's going to work out well for you. Doing the maths beforehand and sitting down and saying, can we afford a 20%? Do we want to afford a 20%? Because being able to afford it and wanting to do it are two completely different things as well. I would say that if you're in a category where it's very price competitive, you often compete on price, then actually you probably do want to be adding a coupon on Prime Day because you want to keep up and get those new to brand customers in as well, because we know, especially if it's something that, subscribe and save, repeat purchases, actually Prime Day, I wouldn't think about it in terms of how profitable we are on that day. I'd think, how many new to brand customers are we going to get through the door and be able to advertise to continuously for the rest of the year and beyond. So, it's got to make sense for you and your brand. And if you are saying, I'm discounting for the sake of discounting, I mean, yeah, I get it, but I just don't think that that's necessarily the point. Prime Day is just a day where, there's a lot of traffic and everyone discounts. Whether you want to
mm,
or not completely depends on you and your strategy. But yeah, as a premium product, if I had like a really premium, thing in a category where, some people discount and some people don't, but generally I don't discount, then no, quite happy. We've got several brands that just are not discounting on Prime Day. In that case, what we're doing is we're just spending way less on advertising. If I'm honest, we're actually keeping our budgets down, we're keeping our bids down. We're just kind of letting that kind of time period run out and then increasing back in as the conversions start to come back. So that is,
mm,
the flip side of the discount in the run up to Prime Day, sort yourself out on Prime Day and discount on the way out, is, maybe just for this month you want to be really conservative and sit back and understand that if you're not discounting during Prime Day and the time around it, it's not going to be maybe your best sales month, but that's okay. I
mm.
think that there's FOMO, and there's FOMO, but you don't really understand why sometimes, because you're not missing out on anything. If you're discounting and you're getting all these sales but losing all this money, you're not missing out on anything, are you, by not discounting?
Exactly, yeah. FOMO, you mentioned it correctly. It works a lot here because all of the sellers are like, after the sales, oh, it's primed and I must get extraordinary sales volume. But profitability is the main thing, and for that, we are all of us are working.
And you're going to
So,
get, if you're on LinkedIn in the next couple of weeks, and especially around Prime Day, you're going to see all of these people going, I have 20 times my sales, etc., etc. And I just sit there
yeah.
and go, yeah, but no one ever talks about profitability. So just ignore the noise, focus on what's right for you and your brand, because what's right for someone else is not right for you.
Exactly. Yeah. That those are my big brands, and just by tweaking little stuff, and it can produce bigger results. But for small brands, it may not work that way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. What do you think about the increasing the pricing and then applying discounts and coupons? I saw and noticed some people like they would increase price up to 20% or 25% and then apply 10% discount.
I mean, the thing is, Amazon's trying to crack down on this with historical price as well. I think people are kind of wise to it, and actually, fake deals work less and less nowadays. I think it needs to be a genuine discount to kind of get the sales and the conversions. Having said
Mm,
that, I mean, whatever works for you. But I do think that we've had this with quite a few of our competitors, and I've seen it really fail for them.
mm,
They increase their price and they drop it, and they still can't quite kind of get where they want to get with that.
mm,
Genuinely, I think that you need to have a pricing strategy for the whole year, not just for Prime Day. Um, I wouldn't really advise increasing the price to create a fake discount, because that's what you're doing really, is creating a fake discount. And I think that
Yeah.
shoppers are savvy to this, and people are shopping around and examining price. And I sit and talk to some of my friends about Prime Day. I mean, some of my friends are like super shoppers, like those people you see on TV with all the coupons and sitting trying to get the best deal. And the customers, especially in a cost of living crisis, we're seeing it in the UK. They're not spending money just because there's a voucher on it. They're really looking into, what is the price of this? Is this actually a discount? And if you're
Mm.
creating fake discounts, actually, I think it's probably going to do more harm to your brand and your reputation than you could imagine. So I would just say, if you're going to discount, give people a genuine discount. It's not a difficult concept, I don't think. I think there's a lot of sneaky tips and tricks from certain, Amazon gurus. And to be honest, I don't think it ends well. It's just, you're already in a very price competitive space. So just give genuine discounts if you're going to do it. And if you're not going to discount, don't discount. It's fine not to discount. It's fine to say, I'm stepping back a bit from Prime Day. I'm not listening to the noise. This isn't a day that's going to benefit my brand. That's fine. It doesn't, it's the FOMO, oh, we have to increase our prices by 20% to discount 10%. Why? The customers are going to work out by looking at your historical price, and Amazon's actually going to say, no, that's not your lowest price for that time period, etc. So
Mm.
you've got to be careful. I think if people try and do that this year, especially with some of the new changes, they might actually get caught out and realize they can't even run the discount. So that would be funny, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. We also used to do this, but we noticed that the moment you increase your price, Amazon deranks you,
Hmm.
and indirectly they are telling you that okay, you are ranked on fifth position for that particular price. Now you increase your price, so we think it's not matching with what you are ranking. So you have to rank with the price again to justify
That's it.
it.
You need
Yeah.
to, Amazon wants to see some justification to keep you in that
Exactly.
position. So it could be half a day, it could be several
Mm.
days that you actually lose. We used to have a client, when I was working at the beginning of my career as a freelancer, and it was just so funny because this is exactly what used to happen. I just remember them so clearly. We would
Mm.
always be Amazon's number one organic rank, Amazon's bestseller badge, all of these things. And we were in a bit of a price war with our next competitor. And every single time you inched up the price, Amazon would go, whoa, now prove to us that you can have it back. And sometimes it would take a couple of hours, and sometimes it would take several days. And the client would be, where's the badge gone? What's happening? And we would say to them, every time you increase the price, this is what's going to happen. No, but we're number one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think assuming that you will just stay number one when you're increasing the price is
Mm.
pretty, sometimes it's true, of course. But
Mm.
you've got to be careful, because Amazon doesn't want people to undercut their prices, get the bestseller badge, then increase their price by £10, because Amazon's thinking about what's best for the customer, not what's best for the seller. So they won't allow you to do something that might potentially trick a customer. And that's why I think with pricing, best case scenario is just to be very honest and open about your pricing, and not try to do any weird pricing tricks. It worked a couple of years ago. It's not going to work now.
Exactly. Yeah. After all, Amazon is based on algorithm, and algorithm don't credit like humans.
No,
So we see that, oh, you are number one. Okay, you can do these things. Okay, out of protocols, but algorithm don't consider these things.
no.
They have certain criterias, and if you are not meeting, you are going down.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've just got to play to the algorithm. So, of course, if you're increasing the price, that's not a problem, but just don't panic when you lose that badge.
Yeah.
Expect to lose it, and monitor and see how long it takes you to get that back, because, then whether increasing the price is worth it to you or not. You know if it's working. But if you just expect to do anything that's going to trick the customer or could be seen as tricking the customer, Amazon's
Hmm.
gonna, and if you can do it now, they'll find out soon and they'll stop you from being able to do it in the future.
Exactly, yeah. And secondly, customer is also noticing the whole niche. While they are searching for a specific product, they are not just directly going to your listing and buying from you. They are doing the whole research, they are checking, and that's why the conversion is under 10%. So 100 people are checking and only 10 are buying from you. So there are a lot of window shopping, so they already know what's the price in the market for that product, and why you are charging 5 or 10 pounds extra.
Yeah, you need to justify that higher price point. Like if you're a premium product and you're not discounting, that's fine. But again, it comes back to your imagery. Show in your imagery why you are a more premium
Mhm.
product. Don't just expect people to know. The amount of times people say, "Yeah, but people know us, and we have a really loyal customer base and things like that." Amazon doesn't care, and a lot of people on
Hmm.
Amazon don't care. I'm not saying that your customers who are loyal to you won't come and find you on Amazon. Of course they might, but you're in a position where lots of other people are competing and they've got really good imagery, really good listings, and quite frankly sometimes a cheaper price. So why would someone buy from you, not them? I'm very
Hmm.
easily swayed, and it's we always get it on, why are we doing branded defense? Because if someone's jumped on our listing, clearly they want to buy our product. Well, actually, no, I don't believe that at all. I think that I can type in, a branded search term on Amazon, look at the product, and I'll be on their product detail page, and someone else has got a cheaper product, and it's another brand that I know, or maybe it's not a brand I know, but they've got really good reviews and they're a cheaper price. I'll jump on that and I'll buy that. You've got no loyalty. And I think that brands assume loyalty a little bit more than they should sometimes. Just assume that no one is loyal to you and you'll be
Hmm.
okay.
Exactly, yeah. These things matters really when you cross certain limit in branding. You may also notice that in some category there are brands with thousands of reviews, but when you look at their titles and listing images, they are very terrible, but they
Yep.
are still selling a lot because they are now selling their brand, they are not selling the product. So yeah, it takes time, um, but in the initial phase you have to respect the SEO practices and all the practices which work in the niche.
The title and the bullets are for the robots, and the images and the reviews are for the people. So,
Yeah.
I think that I think it was, Stephen Pope had that thing on his LinkedIn the other day. Would you rather have a bad product with a good image or a good image with a bad product? And it's like, well, it really makes sense because, quite frankly, if you've got a good product and people are reviewing it, well, that product will sell. It might take a little while to get going, but it's going to do a lot better than a bad product with a good image because eventually you're going to get all the poor reviews coming through, and everyone, people read those reviews, and a bad review can hurt you. So, you just got to be careful and just don't assume that because you are this brand and because someone has searched your branded term that they will buy from you because yeah, they've got an intent. It shows a greater intent. They're more likely to convert, but you can still lose them. And I think that's the point that people miss sometimes is you can still lose a customer that intends to purchase from you on Amazon. So, careful.
Exactly, yeah. I noticed some people do giveaways before Prime Day or the sale season to rank their product organically, so that they avail the benefits of organic ranking. What do you think about that practice?
Giveaways. I mean, look, whatever works for you, I suppose. If you are doing, you've got to be careful. Like, are you asking for reviews, etc.? If you are, then you've got to be very, very careful about that. I would say that what we advise people to do is email your email list with an exclusive discount. Talk to your social media. Give them a reason to purchase from you. Giveaways. I'm sure it works, to be honest, for some people, but quite frankly, it's not something that we advise. One thing that's really interesting is using influencer marketing and stuff like that in the run up, and giving people a real incentive to go and try your product. you know that's something I would recommend. But working with the right influence as well, because otherwise it's just like completely pointless and you're spending money or giving away products for no reason. I would give away products to influencers and people like that. But generally you're going to have to pay for the right sort of influencers. So if it's cheap and it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
great.
guys
Yeah.
have you guys ever used giveaways or anything like that?
No, we don't do. With one of our guests, I was talking, and this they mentioned that people do it, and their clients are actually reaching them out for giveaways. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just wouldn't really recommend it, to be honest. I think there's so many other things you can be doing,
Mm-hmm.
that a giveaway it almost devalues your brand to a certain extent. I think it's that kind of, you know, we talk about all the coupons and the discounts, and that's great. And, Prime Day is a day to get a deal. But also at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you've got to think about the value of your brand. And if you're giving everything away for free, or you're really heavily discounting, sometimes people sit back and go, but why is it that price? If it's too good to be true, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. You already hit the external traffic question a little bit, but I will ask again for more detail answer. So, from your answers, I see that you are more inclined towards the external traffic activity. Like if you have email list, if you have strong in social presence, or even utilizing influencer marketing services. So we should go for Prime Day for those practices instead of utilizing the Amazon traffic, which obviously gonna cost you higher than the rest. So can you explain a little bit more about the strategy?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to Amazon as well, I would always say that, you need to maintain whatever level it is to stay competitive in the run up to Prime Day. But what we're talking about is utilizing areas that aren't going to cost you as much money and are going to improve your conversions. So your email list and your social media channels, these are people that know and like you already and probably trust you. So if you're giving them a discount, 10% in the run up as a pre-prime discount or something like that, these are people that are more likely to jump on Amazon and make that conversion in the run up to Prime Day, when conversions are the problem and the more difficult thing to achieve. And those conversions signal to Amazon that this is a product that people want to buy. And so anything you can do in the run up to Amazon to send people who already know and like your product to go and purchase is a good thing. So yeah, your email list, I mean, email is one of the most, if not the most valuable asset to a business, really, because that's just it's a cash revenue driver. These are people that are already 100% on board with your brand. They choose to receive emails, so why would you not utilize that? And quite frankly, we're often quite honest with the way that we talk to our email lists as well. We're when we're doing certain discounts on Prime Day, but we want to offer you a pre-prime discount. This is actually going to help us on Amazon. Would you mind jumping on? Here's a 20% coupon for your help. Being honest with your customers is often like quite underrated, but it does the job, especially for launches. We're talking about not just Prime Day, but like when we're launching with a new brand on Amazon. As we launch, we're emailing the customer base that they've already got from off Amazon saying, we're launching on Amazon. We need some help getting started. Here's a 20% discount. Give us an honest feedback on our products on Amazon, please. And people do it, and that sort of
Yeah.
honesty converts well.
Exactly. Yeah. People love to support small businesses, and yeah, and when you're launching new product, yeah, it's a good strategy to ask your existing buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honesty is key.
Exactly. So, if we come towards the internal traffic of Amazon, and we have to create campaigns and PPC strategy for the Prime Day, what optimization techniques do you recommend for the PPC campaigns?
For coming up to Prime Day,
Yeah.
it's difficult, isn't it? Because what you want to make sure you're doing is ranking organically. And to do that, you might need to push a little bit more. I would look at my organic rankings and I would say, what are the keywords that I want to be front and center for? And if so, how hard do I need to push on those keywords? I mean, I would just be setting up. The thing is, you should already have these campaigns set up and running. I think that setting up loads of campaigns in the run up to Prime Day is a really quick way to lose a lot of money fast. The first time I ever had a Prime Day experience, so this was years ago, I was working at an agency and, I had worked with Google and Meta and all these other advertising platforms before. It was probably about 3 to 6 months into my Amazon journey. And, Amazon offered to set up a whole load of campaigns for me for Prime Day. And I thought, yeah, Prime Day's coming up. We're going to need more campaigns. We're going to need to spend more, but it's fine because it will convert because it's Prime Day, and we're running discounts. So why wouldn't we do this? And no, it was absolutely terrible. We spent hundreds of pounds with no conversions. And I sat there thinking, but Amazon told me to do that. And I just remember everyone sitting around me going, well, but why would we trust Amazon? And it was kind of like a light bulb moment, like, here we go. Amazon just wants your money. So, I'm not trying to be rude about Amazon. There's lots of very, very helpful people that work at Amazon that will give you some great advice. But in general, a lot of the recommendations you will get are increase your bids, increase your budget, add broad match, campaigns. Look, maybe that's right for your brand, but the vast majority of cases, you should be sticking. Like, we just had a conversation with our team this morning where we sat there and we said, guys, look, we're focusing on what's already in the accounts. We're not adding, especially because, imagine you start bidding on the keyword Prime Day deals, for God's sake, how well is that going to go? You just need to be really, really careful about what you're doing in the run up. And I would just say that, you've already got a wealth of data and, probably a good number of campaigns already set up. Optimize what you've got. And, pick a couple of keywords to push against that you want to rank for. Yeah, maybe, but be very aware that, the conversion rates are going to be lower in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be tough. And that's why we say, go do the external traffic thing. Go and make sure that you're capitalizing on anything free that you can that's going to help your conversions, because the advertising, I'd say, is something you need to be very careful with in the run-up to Prime Day. And I wouldn't be increasing budgets just yet. I wouldn't be increasing your bids. I'd be kind of keeping them, at that level, and just making sure optimizing. As the conversion rate drops, you're going to need to optimize that. And just accept that. I think one thing that's really, really helpful is if you've got something like Market Tracker, Market Intelligence, where you can see your market percentage share, because you want to be maintaining that. So a lot of our clients, we know we've got 40% market share. Okay, so that's what I'll look at difficult time periods where we expect some fluctuation and some difficulty in conversions. How much of the market share are we taking? Because if our sales have halved, but we've still got the same amount of market share, we're not increasing our bids because we are at the level that we should be at. We have to accept the ebbs and flows of Amazon. So people expecting the couple of the weeks up to Prime Day to be as profitable or as good. They can be really great if you've got the right discounts and you hit the market in the right way. But for some people, it's not going to be. So, historical performance, really, really important to look at. How did you do last Prime Day? How did you do the Prime Day before? It's a good indication. Obviously, things are different. There'll be new competitors in the market, all of these sorts of things. But you just have some common sense, I think, and people get swept up in, we need to rank for this before Prime Day. Well, if you've struggled to rank for it for the last couple of months, the 2 weeks before Prime Day is not the time where it's magically all going to happen, unless you are at a lower price and getting those conversions. But then again, you're suffering, probably less profit for that. So just have in your head what you want to achieve, cut out all the noise, and make adjustments based on that. If it's profitability, don't be increasing your bids right now. There's no point. Your conversions are going to be lower, your sales are going to be lower. Accept it. It's not difficult, is it? But I think that people get panicky because someone will, a boss will jump on LinkedIn and see all these posts about how amazing everyone's doing, and then go to their team, well, we need to push, and it's misguided. So make choices based on your goals.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Sometimes we also need to learn like what not to do instead of always looking for what to do and what are the best things. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, these things are also important. That what you should, you must not to do
yeah.
in such situations.
And I think
Exactly.
Prime Day is one of those times where, the list of what not to do is probably longer than the list of what to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because there are also a lot of you can say information available on Prime Day and on other occasions, and mostly they are about what to do and what are the break practices. So people like work more on that. So yeah, those are really great tips, and hope the audience learn it from it. So one last question: what type of campaigns you mentioned that mostly we have to keep the things same, and not to increase the bids, etc. But still, in case if there are campaigns on which we have to focus more, or there are ad types on which we have to focus less, so what do you think, what are the types which we should focus, or you can say on which we should apply 80/20 rule?
Yeah, I think this is the case, isn't it? I mean, for the most part, sponsored products are, whatever anyone says, there are a couple of brands where actually our sponsored brand domination is the key to the success of the brand. But
Hmm.
actually, applying the 80/20 principle, 80% of the time, sponsored products is where you really want to focus. Um, if you are looking at driving new to brand sales, I would say sponsored display, especially like retargeting, is one of the big things to do, especially on the run out. You think about it, you've got a load of traffic coming to your listing over, the on the run up to Prime Day, on Prime Day, after Prime Day, people are still in that deal mood. So actually being able to retarget people who have viewed your listing but not bought anything in the last 7 days, the last 14 days, while you've still got discounts running, that's a great one as well. But I mean, each ad should have a purpose. Okay. And you should know what that purpose is. So for sponsored products, I would say that's where I'd be focusing on for the most of our sales and profitability. But if we're looking at retargeting and getting those new to brand customers in, sponsored display, our sponsored brand is also a great one, but I tend to find that sponsored brands can be really quite expensive for what you get out of it. And obviously, we have different targets for different ad types as well. So you just got to be really careful. It's quite difficult to say which ad type you should focus on because for each brand it will be different. Just look at your historical performance. What's worked well for you, and what are your goals? You know, and if you're running sponsored display to get new to brand customers in, and you're expecting a 20% ACOS, well, have fun. You might achieve that. Some brands will achieve that, but especially a lot of the smaller brands who are probably jumping on and listening to this, each ad serves a purpose, and you need to work out whether you can afford that in the context of things.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hannah, for sharing the insights, and especially you focused on what not to do for the Prime Day, which is more and far important.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, thank you so much. In the last, do you have any closing comments for the new sellers and old sellers as well?
Yeah, take Prime Day with a pinch of salt. You need a strategy that does you for the whole year, not just for a couple of days. And generally it's okay. Don't have FOMO. Don't listen to everyone on LinkedIn telling you how amazing it's going. That of course, Prime Day is going to be a big day, and that's
Mhm.
great. But realistically, you're not an Amazon seller for 2 days of the year. You're an Amazon seller for 365. So make sure that whatever you're doing fits into your overall strategy, because and just don't listen to Amazon's recommendations for setting up broad match campaigns and things like that in the run up. Please just don't do that, because we've done it years and years ago as the beginners learning, and we talk about it now to make sure that other people don't make the same mistakes. Not saying that Amazon recommendations will never say something good. A lot of them will. Just really think about what you're doing in the run up, and you don't need to do things for the sake of it.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hannah, for giving your time and sharing the valuable information and the most practical tips and
Yeah,
recommendations for new and all sellers. So, as I always talk about the long term strategies for branding and scaling your brand on Amazon and even off Amazon. So, it's not a one day thing. Don't get inspired from the influencer. Sitting on beach and sipping their soda and telling you that it's my one day profit and you can also do. So it's not a game of months or even 1 year.
it's
It's
not
a
that
long
risky.
term. Yeah. Stay, uh, keep learning the game, keep engaging it, and that's it, you will win.
That's it. That's it. And invest in some good images in 2024, please.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.